Okay, let me help you. Goliath keeps coming, not because he wasn't scared of Israel, but because Israel created the perception that God couldn't fight. Y'all missed the... Because Israel wasn't known as a warring nation. They were known as a nation under God. So if you keep trying me, you must really disrespect God. Okay, I'm trying to help some of you. Okay, all of you that came from big families, and if they fought one, how many of y'all came from the if you fight one? So you got a pecking order. You start with Junior, and you keep sending them out there. Well, here's what's deep. What happened when all y'all get beat up? When everybody that come back in with the same black eye and the same busted lip. Whoever beat up the first one to the fifth one ain't gonna be scared of the rest of them. I need you to get this. Satan knows that God is God, but what he tries to do is to intimidate you so you become a reflection of God by becoming a negative statement of the power of God. You missed the whole revelation. You want to know why you need to get it together? Because every time the enemy thinks that you still that person, he then begins to magnify the light on your lifestyle and discourages other folk from walking with God, because the enemy's attitude is, if it ain't done nothing for her, what you think it's going to do for you? I need 8 of y'all to get this. You want to know why you need to get your life together? It's because you are a testimony that God is able to do exceedingly above anything you could ever ask or hope for. So you can't be living like a loser claiming to be a saint. Your marriage has got to get healthier because you're a testimony. Your life has got to get healthier. Your finances have got to get healthier. St. Paul can't go under and fail in vision because it points back to what the enemy says about believers. I told you they ain't real. I told you they don't care. Remember what Job said? Remember what Satan said to God about Job? If you remove the hedge, he'll curse you. But here's what I discovered. The devil don't know there's a fighter in you. And the fighter says, you not only can't mess with me, you can't mess with my God, because it was God that picked me up and turned me around. It was God that gave me hope and help. It was God that saved me and delivered me. Is there anybody in this house today that says, when I look at my life, I give the credit to God? I don't give it to Sam, Bethune-Cookman, Rains, Report. I don't give it to Howard, LSU, Virginia Tech, Norfolk State, or Virginia Union. I give it to God, because God is the one that's kept my mind when I should have lost it. God is the one that kept me going when I should have went over the edge. Somebody holler, God! Y'all be seated. Watch this. Oh, I'm glad to be home. If you fight back, because your relatives don't need to see you always. See, that's why sometimes I get mad at y'all and y'all post on Facebook. Because you posting a weak God. And you know, all this, it's tough, I'm going through, it's hard, oh, don't nobody understand me, I'm getting to cuss y'all out, I'm tired of that. Oh, don't laugh. Some of y'all do it. I read your stuff, and I get so mad, sometimes I want to respond and say, stop being a punk. God don't need you publicly parading your pain in front of folk that love to talk about you, and by talking about you, they talk about God. If you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing till you got something good to say, because your words are a work of God. You're declaring defeat and then coming to church and shouting. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Listen, the Lord convicted me, Larry, about always talking about how hard it is to be saved, how hard it is to do this work. You want to know what's deep? It is hard if it's on you. It's manageable if it's on him and you. I'm trying to help you because David fought back because he got tired of Goliath thinking he could just come down to the valley and talk junk. Your family needs to see you winning in life and then seeing your winning as a witness. They need to see you dealing with pain and coming out. They need to see your marriage as a statement of grace and an amazing expression of human love orchestrated by divine activity. They need to see your financial state empowering you to bless others and not just consume all your seed. They need to see you getting up and never going back. Angelica, they need to see you loving life even when you have to deal with pain. George Maxey, they need to see you getting the best out of life while other people are complaining about it. You're living with such a tenacity, such a ferociousness until, Sabrina, everybody starts saying, man, I don't understand how she keeps going. They need to look at you and get inspired. They need to be able to see a fighter in your eyes. So when you walk in church, they know you've been winning all week. The devil came Monday, but I had something for him. He came Tuesday, but I was ready. He came Wednesday, but I did not flinch. In fact, people see you go through hell, but you don't smell like smoke. You'll catch it. They keep wondering, how do you smile through that? You ought to tell them, if you knew what I know, because here's what's deep. Some of y'all got testimonies. You ain't no rookie. You've been here before. You know, last night Florida State beat Miami like they stole something, and everybody's so blown away by the quarterback, and they say, man, he's bad. But here's what you miss. He's a redshirt freshman, which means he just didn't start this year. They prepared him last year by putting him in training camp. Y'all missed it. You ain't new. You just look new to old people. You missed that. You ain't new. You just didn't get here. That's why when they see you winning, they can't figure it out, because God kept you tucked away. All right. I'm working too hard. I think I'm excited to be back. David fought back because he refused to accept the enemy's perception. Well, let me close with this, because I can't close till I tell you, how does he victoriously fight back? What are his weapons for fighting back? Well, everybody knows about the sling and the stones, but there's some stuff he used before he got the slings and stones. Weapons the enemy can't stop. The first weapon was David fought back victoriously through his confident confession. Now, I know some of you don't get this because we are so desensitized to the power of our conversations till we don't understand that whenever you are consistently negative, you will become a person oppressed by an unhealthy harvest. Your words are more than meaningless letters strung together. Your words are actually powerful weapons that serve as seeds in soil. If you speak a thing long enough, heaven participates in the conversation. A few weeks ago, and I've been preaching this sermon everywhere, I dare you to try. I took that bottle of water and I talked about how the water was frozen, and the only reason it went from being liquid to frozen was because Quinn, I put it in the freezer. Watch this, the climate change made the water act different. And the water didn't have no choice because the water was under the authority to the climate. Some of y'all ain't said amen yet because you ain't got the revelation. It's a simple revelation. You keep saying it, and I promise you it's going to look like it. And here's why, Dan Smith. Because if nothing else, I'm going to talk myself into seeing it everywhere I go. See, you look at somebody like a Dan Smith who's an expert in law enforcement. Dan and I can walk into the same situation, and Dan can see certain behavior and say, Pastor, get over here. Something's about to happen. And I'm stupid. I say, what? Because I don't have his awareness, sensitivity, or acuteness. But watch this. Dan then can start moving strategically to thwart a situation because he sees certain things that is a part of his experience. Well, guess what? When you start operating as a victorious believer, you ready? You start speaking stuff other folk don't see. And Greg, they say, I don't see it. And you say, you don't see that? That's about to happen. What do you mean? I've been speaking it for 3 years. And I know what God is getting ready to do. Is there anybody here that's been speaking some stuff and you believe God is getting ready to do it? I know, Sharon, it looked like it's taking him a while, but can you help your pastor preach, shake their hand and say, but if you keep saying it and then attach some praise to it, you got to put a praise to your declaration. You got to act like you're going to do it, and then you got to act like he done did it. You got to shout when you ain't got it so you can dance when you're walking it. I need about 8 people in here to open your mouth and say, I'm getting ready to speak it because I got a strange feeling God is about to do it. I got a strange feeling God is about to turn it. Is there anybody here that believes he's able? Open your mouth and say yes, 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 yes. Real quick, help me preach. Take somebody by the hand. Shake like gonna shake it off and say, neighbor, I declare this is turnaround week. And since I believe it, I'ma holler for you. I'ma dance for you. I'ma rejoice for you. Hold on. Come on, be seated. We got to get out of here. We got to move. I didn't. Woo! I need about 8 folk to throw your head back and holler. It's getting ready to happen. In fact, tell everybody around you, excuse me if I put a praise to my declaration. I've been waiting a long time, and for some reason I got a feeling it's getting ready to happen. I need you to fight back with your confession. Hold on. I got to tell you this, then I'm going to get out of here. I'm not going to keep you long because I'm on the verge of ending. But here's what I discovered, Dan. When I attach confession to conduct, and they both act the same, I force conditions to become a worshiper of the God I worship. You need to make your conditions worship the God you worship by being so clear about what you believe, so consistent about what you confess, and so congruent in conduct with what you are confessing, till God ain't got no choice but to get involved. See, the reality is David confesses God. David says crazy stuff like, and my God it's going to put you in my hand. Wait a minute. He ain't fought him yet. Don't matter. I know God's track record. See, that's why I feel sorry for people that's scared of their age. Because your age is your grace number. Brenda Grant, the older you are, the more you understand. And there's about 8 of us in here that say, I done seen him do some stuff. Oh my God. I done seen him keep me when court had me. I done seen it. Get me up when I was knocked down. And so the strength of God and then the standard of God. He confesses the strength of God, Papa. Then he confesses the standard of God. And here's what he does. He says the way God is, he only deals with winners. God ain't used to losing. In fact, he's the only undefeated thing the world has ever known. So if I hang out with him, I think I'm going to be all right because he ain't lost yet. Everybody that mess with him wish they had because he ain't lost yet. And what's crazy, he's been using folk that folk don't think can win to win what folk didn't think they could win. I need y'all to get this because your confession has to be about God's strength and God's standard. You got to speak who he is. Then you got to speak what he does. And then you got to keep speaking it till you ain't scared to fight. Did y'all get it? You got to keep saying it till you ain't scared to fight. Why? Because if that's God's standard, why am I accepting anything less? Listen, my daughters live where First Lady and I live. They eat what First Lady and I eat. They ride in what First Lady and I ride in. They live in the hotels we live in. We don't go stay in the Ritz-Carlton and we put them in the Super 8. That ain't good parenting. So, question. If God is your daddy, you think he gonna let you live beneath his image? Come on, let's kill some demons in here. That's why you need to get to know God. You trying to get to know people. When you get to know God, people ain't your issue no more. I'm about to bless somebody because when you get to know God, if people don't want you to have it, they can't stop you from getting it because they ain't the source of why you got it. All right, let me move to my last point. He victoriously fought back. Watch this, Kim, through a confident confession of the strength of God and the standard of God. But here's the last thing, Reverend Brace Taylor, and this blessed me because, you know, I'm so used to getting up about 5:35, 45 until my body is conditioned to get up. So nobody told my body that I had an hour. So I've been up since 4. So when a preacher gets up that early and he still got 3 hours till preaching time, he starts tinkering with sermons. So I went and got my iPad and I sat down at the little table and I started looking at the points and I said, it's got to be something else. And then God shifted my last point and he blew my mind. Here it is. He said, John, you missed something valuable in your week's preparation. I said, what is it, God? Because here was my initial point. He victoriously fought back because he performed what through practice he perfected to do. Now, it sounds good, but I was missing something. That was my point. He performed what through practice he was perfected to do. In other words, he practiced till he was good enough to perform. And God is so amazing, he will set up a platform by instigating your enemies to come after you so he can promote you. Everybody didn't get it. Some of you are complaining about what's messing with you. It's actually God agitating it so he can give you a reputation. Can I help you? What do we know David for? Killing Goliath. We don't know David for much else. He didn't build the temple. We know him for one thing. There was a big old mean nasty giant that nobody else would fight. And Sister Porter, David took him out. That's how we know him. And here's the revelation of today. You got to be willing to keep practicing until you perfect it. So when he positions you for performance, you are confident in what you know because you're clear about who you are. Because a part, you ready? Major revelation, Cotton. A part of the perfecting of the craft, you ready? Is the shaping of a confident identity. Good God. So not only is he building your skill, he's building your self-esteem. Come on, Kim Foster, when you first started Mary Kay, you were a little shaky. You go walk, talk to people, and they tell you no. But all of a sudden, you started working on your presentation. And all of a sudden, when you got your presentation down, when you step to people now, you don't step scared, you step confident because you know that your skill matches your self-esteem. So now, you ain't scared of no setting because you know who you are. But then it blew my mind. He said, son, but you missed something. I said, what I missed? He said his performance through practice for perfection was actually the result of his passion. Okay, I got it. He performed because he practiced, and in practice he was perfected, but he didn't practice to perfection for the sake of performance unless he had a passion. You'll get it. His passion was not killing giants. It was worshiping God. Okay, I'll see you later. Because of his passion to worship, God gave him confidence in who he was. And so David was the fella. Y'all got that for me? David was the fella who would stand out in the middle of the field, and he would sit there and he would get rocks, and he would just take the stone, and he'll take the sling, and we want to hit the thing, but he wasn't very good. So he just keep on practicing. But here's what's crazy. While he was practicing, he was saying, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. Can I get some preaching help here? Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, I may not be good at it yet, but I'm going to keep on worshiping until I get it together. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Notice he kept on messing up, but one day he got it together. And he looked at his target and he said, let me see. He said, wait a minute here. He kept on trying. And here's what's crazy. Eventually, David said, no matter what I go through, I'm going to keep on trying. Is there anybody here? I got it now. Is there anybody here that says I'm going to keep on trying until I get it? I'm going to keep on trying until I work it out. But while I'm trying, I'm going to worship the Lord. Give me another one. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, I ain't scared to try, because the one thing I know is God's getting ready to turn it. Is there anybody here that said, I've been working on it and the devil thought he had me, but one of these days Goliath gonna mess with the wrong person, and in the name of Jesus I dare you to believe that God is able to do exceedingly above everything. Shake your neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, I dare you to fight back. Neighbor, I dare you to fight back, because when you fight back, God's going to give you victory. I got to get out of here, Ben. But 2,000 years ago, a fella fought back on a place called Calvary. He died, but before he died, he hollered, it is finished. And 3 days later, he fought back with all power fighters in here? Any fighters in here? Any warriors in here? Shout yeah! Shout yeah! Yes! Yeah! 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 I got one more in me. Yes! Yes! Ain't he all right? Ain't he all right? Ain't he, ain't he, ain't he, ain't he? I need some fighters in here. Everybody stand. I'm done.